Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday vlog where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you guys here, or if you are a frequent visitor, I would encourage you both now to click on that watermark down there in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, along with clicking that notification bell. That way you guys will know when the Friday vlogs are available, as well as additional content that's here on the channel. In gaming news this week, from the request of many of the Just Survive fans, I did create a Just Survive video up here in the top right-hand corner, if for no other reason than to reflect on the nostalgia of the game. Now, after having posted this video, I saw quite a few people responding to the fact that they had seen some information about Daybreak potentially looking into reviving the game, although there isn't anything substantive from that, because I have contacted Daybreak myself and have not gotten any confirmation on whether or not they're going to move forward with any type of moves with the game, because as you know, Nant G was going to purchase the title and license from them. However, that never came through, so at that point, really, Nant G did not go any further with it, and Daybreak really had no obligation to follow up where Nant G had left off. That seems to be a point of confusion for some people when it comes to the game in and of itself. So hopefully within the video, it explains to people kind of where we are and how things have progressed. But nonetheless, you can check that out in the top right-hand corner. This past weekend, the Proud Boys were having a rally in Portland, Oregon. And as you know, or as we have discussed here on the channel, the Proud Boys have dissolved. They are in no particular official capacity whatsoever. Gavin McGinnis, who started the Proud Boys as a joke with a group of friends to kind of create some sort of organization that they could wear their MAGA hats and flags and attend rallies and things of this nature, really more to irritate the left, which is what they were really trying to do. They weren't trying to form some coalition. They weren't trying to form some kind of movement. They weren't forming into some body of political movement to then escalate and get more recruits. It was really done completely as a joke, and it has been taken completely out of hand. It has been mischaracterized. It has been taken out of context. They have been accused of things that they do not represent. They've been accused of things that isn't even part of who they were. Now, again, I say they no longer exist in any official capacity. So the individuals that were in Oregon this weekend were really there as just groups of patriotic individuals, and just being patriotic, of course, in the United States, or having a flag or showing any kind of support towards this country irritates the left. Not every person on the left, but the progressives, no doubt. But we are in the middle of a culture war, and Oregon is, or Portland specifically, seems to be one of those fields of battle within the culture war that continues to clash. And so the Proud Boys wanted to come out as in a rally and kind of slightly as a protest towards the mayor and the city of Portland to say, hey, why are you guys continuing to facilitate Antifa, who are attacking just normal everyday citizens? You know, see, the thing here, the problem is with the left right now is they're fractured and they're in a schism. The Democrats are in a schism. And the problem with these individuals is they're creating boogeymen. They're creating their Don Quixote, tilting at windmills, thinking that just around the corner here or just around the corner there, there's a fascist or there's an extremist of some sort on the right that is going to do X, Y, and Z, which never comes to fruition. It never did. Yes, we had the issue in Charlottesville, one of those rare situations, and maybe you can scour the internet and find some very rare, obscure, right-wing, alt-right type stuff. However, what is evident and very apparent is the actions of Antifa. Now, the Proud Boys being there this weekend, there was a great deal of concern that there would be clashes and in just an escalation of this continuing kind of cultural warfare. But fortunately, really in simplest terms that I can put it, the Proud Boys showed up, they marched for about half an hour, then they went to a barbecue and everything was done. It was really kind of like the way the original Proud Boys was designed to be, simply a presence to irritate progressives. That's all it really was. It was not an official organization that was seeking to recruit, that was out there trying to be, you know, directly in the face of the American public to try to create some sort of agenda. They were simply just created as a joke. And so these guys that were there in Portland, the Proud Boys, simply had their flags. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give a link to you down in the published section of Portland Andy, a YouTuber there that lives in Portland. He does a lot of coverage there when there are protests and things going on there. And he walked around with the Proud Boys for about half an hour, and as you can see, there was no trouble, there was no issues whatsoever. All the issues, all the problems were Antifa, which is why the Proud Boys were there, was to raise awareness and bring attention to the actual things that are going on with Antifa, who are searching for boogeymen, looking for fascists and other individuals out there that just simply does not exist. I mean, the alt-right at best, when it comes to white supremacy or other things like that, is a very small group of people. We're talking like just in the few thousands, man, not even in the few thousands. I can't remember the statistic now, but it's like maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 official in a group of 300 million people. I mean, to be able to try to ascertain that, I mean, it's so rare, and they make such a low impact on our society anyway. But of course, the left have to turn them into boogeymen, or perceived to be that there is a ton of these people running around. But I wanted to bring this up because it ended up not being any issues with the Proud Boys themselves or any clashes between them and Antifa. Now, as the members dispersed, as some of the functions ended, some of these individuals that were going off on their own did run into a few handfuls of splinter Antifa groups. But the whole reason for the protest was to bring awareness to the city that, hey, you know, these Antifa people are still here. They're going after individual people. They're going after just citizens going about their business. Any perceived slight that these people have, I mean, they just look and they just perceive that they're a fascist out here in the United States of America. It's absurd. But nonetheless, it was an interesting weekend. I did follow it, enjoyed Portland and Andy's coverage of it, and I will give you some links down in the public section below of who the actual agitators were, as you'll see there with the various Twitter links. All right, guys, that's all I have for this week. It's been a rather interesting week this week, nonetheless. So this was basically what I could cover for the moment. And the last video was demonetized, so things are always changing on YouTube. So what we can cover, how we can cover different topics, and what we can say within them obviously are going to affect the channel. So I have to keep certain topics within certain parameters and use certain terms and things like that. So we're still going to work out some of those bugs and see what we can cover, what you know, maybe what we can't cover. But obviously there are areas of interest that I have that I want to cover with you guys, and sometimes we just get demonetized because that's just what happens. But nonetheless, guys, you can of course support the channel by clicking that like button right now, right there in the bottom corner, as well as of course showing your support right here by clicking on this channel icon to subscribe to the channel, along with that notification. That way you guys will know when there is additional Friday vlogs, as well as additional content that's here on the channel. And I'll see you guys right there behind the camera next week.